Welcome back to Project Aviate. Today we're diving into one of the most fascinating secrets behind the F-22 Raptor's dominance in the skies: thrust vectoring. When most people see the Raptor parked on the runway, sleek and silent against a rising sun, they see just another stealth fighter. But hidden beneath its frame is a feature that redefined aerial combat. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why thrust vectoring makes the F-22 nearly untouchable. Let's start with its engines. Up close, the Raptor's twin Pratt & Whitney F-119 engines don't just look like raw power, they are technological masterpieces. What makes them different from conventional engines is their ability to literally bend the laws of physics, thanks to thrust vectoring nozzles. At first glance, these nozzles just look like metallic plates with sharp edges, but they're actually highly flexible mechanisms that redirect the engine's thrust. Instead of simply pushing the jet straight forward, they can angle the exhaust up or down, giving the F-22 a level of maneuverability that's simply unmatched. To visualize this, imagine slicing open one of those engines and looking inside. You'd see a complex system where fuel, air, and fire combine into raw thrust, and at the end, the nozzle pivots to change the jet's direction. That single adjustment is what gives the F-22 its almost alien flight characteristics. The first time you see an F-22 at an airshow, the difference is obvious. As it takes off, afterburners blazing, the exhaust flames are so bright they practically paint the sky. But then something happens that looks like it breaks the rules of aerodynamics. The Raptor doesn't just climb, it can go nearly vertical, sliding upwards like a rocket before flipping into a maneuver that no other fighter can match. Here's where thrust vectoring comes alive. In mid-flight, when the pilot angles the nozzles, the jet can perform a turn so sharp it looks like it's pivoting on an invisible axis. With conventional jets, the control surfaces, the wings, rudders, and elevators do most of the work. But when you add thrust vectoring into the equation, the engine itself becomes a flight control. That means the F-22 isn't just steering through the air, it's actively forcing the air to obey. Now, let's compare. A conventional jet with fixed nozzles can only redirect its path by using aerodynamic surfaces. That works fine in most cases, but at extremely high or low speeds, those surfaces lose effectiveness. The F-22, on the other hand, doesn't care. Even at high angles of attack, when airflow is turbulent and unpredictable, the Raptor can still command absolute control by pointing its thrust wherever the pilot wants. Think of it like this. A regular car steers only with its front wheels, but the F-22 is like a car where the wheels, body, and even the engine itself can change direction. To make it clearer, imagine an infographic: on one side, a traditional nozzle pushing straight back, and on the other, the F-22's nozzle angling down, redirecting that fiery exhaust. That difference alone is what separates fifth-generation fighters from the rest. But thrust vectoring isn't just about control, it's about redefining what maneuvers are possible. One of the most famous examples is the Cobra maneuver. Picture this: the Raptor flying fast and level, and then suddenly its nose snaps upward to a near vertical angle. For a brief moment, the jet almost seems to hover in place, suspended against the backdrop of the sky, before it drops its nose and accelerates forward again. Without thrust vectoring, that move would be impossible. And yet, the F-22 makes it look effortless. Up close, when you watch those nozzles glow orange with afterburner flames during such maneuvers, you realize the raw force being bent and twisted in midair. The Raptor is literally wrestling with the elements and winning every time. Now, let's put this into a combat perspective. Imagine a dogfight simulation, the F-22 facing a highly capable opponent. A missile is launched, closing in fast. Any other aircraft would have to rely purely on speed and countermeasures. But the Raptor has another card to play. By vectoring its thrust, it can perform an impossibly sharp maneuver, slipping out of the missile's predicted path. That agility isn't just a showpiece for airshows, it's a life-saving advantage in real combat. Another way to look at it is through diagrams that break down how thrust vectoring affects pitch, yaw, and roll. The pilot isn't limited by aerodynamics anymore, he's commanding the raw thrust itself. In essence, thrust vectoring turns the engine into a weapon of precision control, one that makes the Raptor unpredictable to both pilots and missile guidance systems. But maneuverability isn't just about defense. It's also about offense. Picture the F-22 in supersonic flight, slicing through the air faster than sound. Shockwaves ripple along the fuselage, condensation clouds form around its wings, and yet the aircraft remains steady and precise. At these speeds, even the tiniest adjustment matters, and thrust vectoring gives the pilot control that's razor-sharp. From the cockpit view, this becomes even more impressive. The pilot sees the heads-up display glowing with data as the aircraft twists and turns beyond what most jets could handle. Every green symbol, every shifting angle on that display represents the kind of control that can mean the difference between victory and defeat. When you put the F-22 side by side with older generation fighters like the F-16, the difference is night and day. The F-16 is a legend in its own right, agile and battle-proven, but it simply can't match the Raptor's agility. In a maneuverability contest, the F-22 makes other jets look like they're stuck in slow motion. That's the leap that thrust vectoring has given us, an entire new dimension of control. And in the end, it all circles back to why the F-22 Raptor excels. It isn't just about stealth, or speed, or avionics. It's about having complete dominance in the sky. When you see it flying into the sunset, silhouetted against golden clouds, it isn't just a fighter jet, it's the embodiment of air superiority. The thrust vectoring nozzles may not look glamorous, but they're the hidden secret that allow the Raptor to dance in the skies, to defy gravity, and to stay one step ahead of every opponent. So the next time you see an F-22 perform at an airshow or hear about its legendary reputation, remember this: its true power isn't just in its engines or its stealth coating. It's in the ability to bend the very laws of flight to its will. That's the magic of thrust vectoring. And that's why the F-22 Raptor will forever be remembered as one of the most dominant fighter jets in history.